Live from WNIC Studios, this is WNIC Gainesville This Morning.
Good morning. You are watching WNIC Gainesville This Morning. Of course, this morning we are tracking Tropical Storm Elsa, and coming up we'll tell you how North Central Florida counties are preparing. Firefighters sent to Surfside returned to North Central Florida last weekend for the holidays. Crews from Marion, Alachua, and Gainesville fire rescue crews all returned to their respective stations. And friends mourn the death of Ocala motorcyclist Chris Flatt. A small memorial has started on East Silver Springs Boulevard for Chris Flatt, who was killed last Friday in a motorcycle incident. Taking a live look outside in I-75, right by Celebration Point, you can see that the travel is pretty light this morning. Today is July 6, 2021. Good morning, Gainesville. Thank you for tuning in this morning. I'm Nicholas Treadway, and before we get too deep into this morning's news stories, let's talk about our most important one, Tropical Storm Elsa. Looking at Tropical Storm Elsa, you can see it is making its way up Florida, and our impacts will be here in North Central Florida by at least tonight and into tomorrow morning, and that's when it should be the worst. But by Wednesday afternoon and Thursday morning, it should be moved past us. And the next thing will be getting those outer bands from Tropical Storm Elsa. I'll talk a little bit more about that in my full forecast. Residents along the Gulf of Mexico in North Central Florida need to prepare for storm surges and windy conditions as Tropical Storm Elsa approaches the area between tonight and tomorrow. WCJB TV 20's Dylan Lyons explains why emergency management officials across the region are urging everyone to prepare for possible power outages.
Not too much has changed for our area.
Assistant Director of Levy County Emergency Management David Peaton says there hasn't been much change in the track.
We're looking at the wind timing maybe being a little bit earlier. We're looking at that later on Tuesday, into the night, into Wednesday. Biggest thing we want people to do is understand that, they still got a little time. They need to make sure that they finish those preparations.
And he says it is not just those along the coast that need to be prepared.
People in Cedar Key obviously need to worry about the storm surge and the wind, but we need to remember, especially in a county like Levy County, we're very rural, there's a lot of trees, there's a lot of vegetation.
He says the storm has the potential to produce tropical storm force winds, which could lead to extended power outages. There is also the potential for flooding. Governor Ron DeSantis says officials are ready for Elsa to strike.
Every single model is in agreement that once it's in the Gulf, there is going to be a movement back northeast, and we obviously anticipate that will impact the state of Florida. So we're ready for that.
Peaton says it is important that people connect with the Emergency Management Office to stay up to date as the storm inches closer.
And different locations in North Central Florida are giving out sandbags. Those locations, as you see here, are there are some in Alachua County, and there's some in Marion County, and also some in Bradford County. So if you need them, those are the places to go. Well, as of now, Tropical Storm Elsa has left Cuba and it's making its way towards Florida, forcing all of the state to stay vigilant. At least 25 counties have declared a state of emergency. Here's NBC's Sam Brock with the latest on the storm as of last night.
Long after thrashing through the Caribbean and claiming at least 3 lives. Where 180,000 people have already evacuated, the storm showdown there, likely shaping its strength for its next stop, Florida.
I will admit I freaked out a little bit.
The tourist favorite at the end of the Florida Keys is squarely in Elsa's path, but with 4th of July celebrations ongoing. Many say they've danced around storms before.
I've lived down here for 30 years. I've been through every hurricane. I never leave because I've got to stay to protect my boat.
Bars remain packed and brunch lines long, even as officials warn travel could be snarled for those leaving town.
Suddenly it's evacuation, we have to leave. Everybody getting on the run at the same time, yeah, that is concerning.
One mom calling an audible after snapping some photos at the iconic southernmost point.
We're going to try to cut our trip short just to avoid some of the damages if it does occur.
At Key West Airport, a Virginia woman here to see her grandkids lost her reservation in an airline snafu. Now she can't book another flight out.
It's so unpredictable. They can't tell us when, where, which airline. Just wait it out.
Somewhere out there is Tropical Storm Elsa, and as it's approaching, the warnings have expanded west. The Big Bend of Florida near Tampa is one of the most vulnerable places in the world for storm surge because of the ocean's topography.
Once this live camera does come up, this is supposed to show Key West, and this was to show you what the weather conditions were right now, because Tropical Storm Elsa is supposed, oh, there it is. Tropical Storm Elsa, you can see how windy it is right now and rainy as the tropical storm gets closer to Key West. And we won't get any impacts until later tonight and into tomorrow, but as you can see, Key West is starting to get them right now. Another 117 people remain unaccounted for a day after the beginning part of the building was demolished. The remaining part of the building was demolished. NBC's Morgan Chesky has this story.
10:30 p.m. Sunday. The explosions rocked Surfside. The remnants of Champlain Tower South crashing down in a delicate demolition.
Bringing the building down in a controlled manner was critical to expanding our scope of search. Truly, we could not continue without bringing this building down.
The decision made after concerns the tower was too unstable, especially with the potential arrival of Tropical Storm Elsa and dangerously high winds.
There was the very real potential where this storm could have knocked the building down in the wrong way on top of that pile, which would have effectively ended the search and rescue.
Crews careful to protect their progress, covering the existing pile with a massive rubber mat.
So if any of the rubble from the existing building that was demolished fell onto that pile, we could quickly remove it and know exactly where our line was.
The death toll rising yet again. 28 people dead, more than 110 others still missing. Search and rescue back on the pile just hours after the blast, now safely able to access new areas. Heavy equipment also speeding up work in clearing rubble. FEMA saying crews have now cleared 40% of the debris above ground. As for what or who could still be buried beneath.
From a survival standpoint, what do you tell folks still waiting?
We just tell them that the same thing that we believe. We believe it, that we're still hoping for a miracle. But we understand it is, every day that goes by, it makes it a lot more difficult to try to realize that miracle.
Fire rescue crews from north central Florida that traveled to South Florida for the rescue effort in Surfside return home to spend Independence Day with their families. Crews from Marion, Alachua, and Gainesville Fire returned to their respective stations. The crews left for Surfside on June 27th and worked 12-hour shifts searching through rubble and helping in the search for more than 100 missing residents of the collapsed building. Gainesville Fire Rescue will give their 8 firefighters 96 hours off to recuperate and spend time with their loved ones. And that is good for them. They deserve it. Coming up, friends and family mourn the death of Ocala motorcyclist Chris Flatt. And a Gainesville dad has an awe-inspiring story about how he taught his kids about past veterans. Stay right here.
This portion of today's newscast is sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Central Florida. Attorney Dan Newland is bringing our healthcare heroes a free concert starring award-winning musical artist Shaggy. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. She heard the words that I told her. Oh, you pick it, the woman up, so you feel it. And Flow Rider. Hard Rock Live, July 17th, 6 p.m. Healthcare Heroes. Log on to DanNewlandFreeConcert.com to get your free tickets.
Look at these deals. Okay. Listen, babe, we're trying to save money, all right?
But we are saving money because we're using Honey.
What do you mean?
It automatically searches the best coupons on the internet. So I don't have to look for a coupon.
You don't have to look for a coupon. That's why Honey is there for you.
Oh my gosh.
That is so easy.
You saved a lot of money, right, Will?
Get $5 added to your PayPal account by installing Honey for free at joinhoney.com/PayPal5.
That's good.
Since my mother got cancer from smoking, I've learned a lot of things. Like how to help her out of bed, how to help her in the bath, how to keep track of her medication, how to keep her spirits up.
Good morning, sweetie.
Sleep well. I love you.
I love you.
Tobacco-Free Florida offers free nicotine patches to help start your quit journey. 1-877-YOU-CAN now.
Seat number? This way.
Thanks. Excuse me. Just get it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Sorry.
When it comes to airplane seats, size matters. Same goes for your law firm. Morgan & Morgan,
Would you like some peanuts?
America's largest injury law firm.
Ritz Cheese Crispers, where the crispiness of Ritz meets the bold taste of cheese.
I need a bite.
Try cheesy, crispy Ritz Cheese Crispers. Only from Ritz.
Here, have a Triscuit.
Bring on the zest with fire-roasted tomato and olive oil. Bring it with Triscuit.
When heartburn takes you by surprise, fight back fast with new Tums Naturals, free from artificial flavors and dyes.
Taco night is heartburn you can plan for, but surprise pizza means heartburn you didn't expect. New Zantac 360 Degrees contains the #1 doctor-recommended medicine approved to both prevent and relieve heartburn and works in as little as 15 minutes. New Zantac 360.
Ritz Cheese Crispers, where the crispiness of Ritz meets the bold taste of cheese.
I need a bite.
Try cheesy, crispy Ritz Cheese Crispers. Only from Ritz.
I had back pain.
I felt flushed.
I didn't have any normal symptoms.
I had congestive heart failure.
I had a heart attack.
The pain took my breath away.
My doctors referred me to UF Health. I was in the ICU for 5 days.
My heart stopped 3 times.
I received a pacemaker and a defibrillator.
I had 75% blockage.
And I trust them with my life.
I'm back and I'm loving time with my grandkids.
Catch Nicholas Treadway on WNIC Gainesville this morning.
COVID variant Delta is spreading faster as the holiday weekend just finished. The World Health Organization is saying it was the most transmissible yet. There are concerns that the unvaccinated region will become vulnerable.
As holiday travelers head back home, celebrations of summer freedom will spark a renewed push to increase vaccinations.
We're going to double down on our efforts to vaccinate millions of more Americans across July and August.
4 states lag the nation with less than 40% taking even 1 dose of vaccine. Mississippi ranks last. Denise Taylor, who coached college basketball and in the WNBA, is trying to change that.
I am coaching. I'm just coaching on a different court.
Taylor is going one-on-one each day to make her pitch relatable.
What I found is I put myself in their shoes, and then I let them know, you know what? I was hesitant too.
Among those not yet vaccinated around the country, some say they will not be persuaded.
I told them that I'll take my vaccine on the way to the cemetery in about 15 or 20 years.
As the president and first lady promote vaccines as safe, free, and readily available, the White House touts progress, while still short of its own goal of 70% of adults with at least 1 shot.
COVID-19 has not been vanquished. We all know powerful variants have emerged, like the Delta variant.
That strain spreads more easily. Dr. Fauci says the unvaccinated are at greatest risk of death.
Which is the reason why we say this is really entirely avoidable and preventable.
All right, now if you're confused about when and where to get a vaccine in Alachua County, pick up your phone and text the word vaccine to 352-448-5796. Wait just about a minute or so and we'll send you a follow-up text with the information you need. Well, yesterday, friends mourned the death of Ocala motorcyclist Chris Flatt. Here's Julia Laud with the story.
East Silver Springs Boulevard, where 61-year-old Shelly Diaz was arrested after colliding head-on with motorcyclist Chris Flatt. He was pronounced dead at the scene last Friday. Diaz was arrested and is in the Marion County Jail, facing charges of DUI manslaughter. She told police that she had consumed alcohol and a Xanax prescription before getting behind the wheel. Flatt struggled with his own addiction for many years, but his friends say they know he would have forgiven the woman.
Turn your life around like Chris did and make a difference in not only our community, but possibly our world.
Diaz's bond is set for $30,000. Julia Laudy, TV 20 News.
All right, switching over the weather, and this is very important, especially for these next 2 days. But taking a look outside right now, you can see it is clear, and you can't even tell that there is a tropical storm on the way. Well, that is because it is it just left Cuba this morning, and it is making its way towards Key West first. It's going to go up to where Tampa is, and then it's going to cut into the Big Bend of Florida and start coming our direction. Now, we should not see any impacts from Tropical Storm Elsa towards Wednesday afternoon. Most of that impact will be tonight and into Wednesday morning, of course. And looking right now it is showing the tropical storm wind probability, and you can see that we can start getting those winds as early as tonight. And as you can see right now, it is making its way towards Florida. You can see the tropical warnings that are out right now. It was just tropical warnings all up the west coast of Florida, and you can see the tropical watches, which includes us, Alachua County and Marin County and Columbia. And you just saw the spaghetti plots are mostly supposed to stay the same. Well, the spaghetti plots are more consistent than it was, say, last Friday. That's because they have a definite plan of where this tropical storm is going to go, and that plan does include it going over north central Florida. Looking at the radar outside right now, you can see we're not seeing anything yet. Pretty partly cloudy right now. And looking at the daily the weather history, yesterday it was a high of 85 degrees with a low of 73 degrees. Now the the average for yesterday was 91 degrees, and the average low for yesterday was 71 degrees. And then we had a record set in the 1900s, 99 degrees, and then the low in the 1930s, 62 degrees. Not much rain yesterday, not an inch yet. Yesterday's sunrise time was 6:35, and the sunset was at 8:34. And for today's forecast, you can see that earlier this morning it was partly cloudy, 74 degrees. At noon is going to be where chances of thunderstorms start to come in. And then at 6 this afternoon, those thunderstorms will still be lingering around, and it will be 80 degrees. So a little cool off by 2 degrees from noon to 6 o'clock. And then looking at the temperatures right now, 75 right now in Gainesville, 72 in Lake City. And you can see cooler spots right now. That is between the border of Florida and Georgia. And then looking at the next 48 hours, you can see most of what we're looking at is this tropical storm that is about to make its way up Florida, as you can see here. Like I said, by Wednesday afternoon, it should be north of Jacksonville and in southeast Georgia. And we will still get the outer bands of Tropical Storm Elsa, but nothing too crazy. And looking at your 7-day forecast, for today, it is a high of 84 with afternoon scattered showers. There will be a brief break, and then the showers are expected to return later in the evening. Tomorrow, it will be a high of 77 because of Tropical Storm Elsa coming in. It will block out the sun, dipping the temperatures into the high 70s. But for the rest of the week, temperatures will be mostly into the high 80s with lows in the low 70s. Blake Matthews is a law student and is interning in Jacksonville. He helped draft a new law on mugshots because of his personal experience with his own mugshot.
Good morning. That college student is actually now a law student interning here in Jacksonville. Now, getting this law passed has been a passion for Blake Matthews since 2019 when he was arrested for a crime he says he didn't do, and eventually the court dismissed his charge. But I could still find his mugshot online. The new law will help him get this offline.
Definitely, innocent until proven guilty is, what our nation's founded on. And, although mugshots technically don't mean anything, it's the public perception that, when they see a mugshot, they assume, you're guilty of a crime.
Blake Mathese understood that on a personal level. As a bartender at a college bar in Gainesville, he says one night he broke up a fight. A few weeks later,
I have about 4 or 5 cop cars pull up to my house and issue a warrant for a felony battery arrest.
He was in college at the University of Florida at the time and in the midst of applying for law schools. Interviewers constantly questioning him about what led up to this photo. When he tried to remove it from websites like this, they would demand money. Then a law was passed to make that illegal. But since these websites couldn't get money in exchange, he says they would refuse to take it down altogether. For the past 2 years, he's been drafting and presenting this bill, now a law, to give people the right to get their mugshots removed. Here's how it works. This law gives Floridians the legal right to request their mugshot be removed from websites, but it has to be a written request. Now, once the company receives your written request, they must oblige or be charged $1,000 a day until they do so. Back to you guys.
Hurricane season. We're bound to see some posts on social media that seem unbelievable, and some actually are. So how can you verify if they're real? Our sources today are the Poynter Institute, First Draft, and our sister station in Tampa, WTSP. First, a shark swimming in the street. Unfathomable. This viral tweet claimed it was spotted in Houston during Hurricane Harvey, but it turns out this shark has been circulating for years. A reverse image search shows it surfaced in 2011, so we can verify this as false. Next, another Hurricane Harvey photo. Elderly nursing home residents trapped in waist-deep water. This one is true. Our sister station WTSP in Tampa spoke to the original poster who said her mom owned the facility in Houston. She originally tweeted the photo to try and get help. In this case, retweets may have saved these residents. When you see a wild photo, you can debunk it yourself as well. First, try to reverse image search on Google. It will bring up where on the internet it has been found, and often there's a date that shows when it was published. You can do the same for videos. Just take a screenshot and do a reverse image search of that as well. Another way misinformation is spread is through bots. There are some ways that you can detect a bot. First, look for errors with basic English. Posts often have grammar or capitalization mistakes. Next, usernames. Bots often take common names and put about 6 numbers after them. Also, what is their usage history? A large number of retweets and a small number of original posts is a good indicator a social media profile is fake. Detecting viral fakes is key to preventing the spread of sometimes dangerous misinformation, which can stop with you. So when you see these viral posts, make sure to do your research before sharing. Jocelyn Howard, First Coast News, on your side.
NBC Weekends have a whole lot more.
Take a look.
More adventure. More inspiration.
This is very special.
More hope.
Good boy.
And a lot more fun.
That was crazy.
More reasons to love the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
The more you know. Weekends on NBC.
You may hate the color rouge. Well, now it's sapphire blue. Why stick with something you despise?
So in life, the road you oppose. Just say, better get Mako.
Central Florida. Attorney Dan Newland is bringing our healthcare heroes a free concert starring award-winning musical artist Shaggy.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me. She heard the words that I told her.
Oh, you pick it, the woman up, it's your pillar. And Flow Rider. Hard Rock Live, July 17th, 6 p.m. Healthcare Heroes. Log on to DanNewlandFreeConcert.com to get your free tickets.
Look at these deals.
Okay.
Listen, babe, we're trying to save money, all right?
But we are saving money because we're using Honey.
What do you mean?
It automatically searches the best coupons on the internet.
So I don't have to look for a coupon? You don't have to look for a coupon. That's why Honey is there for you.
Oh my gosh.
That is so easy.
You saved a lot of money, right, Will?
Get $5 added to your PayPal account by installing Honey for free at joinhoney.com/PayPal5.
A Gainesville father created a video that highlighted an African-American veteran's legacy in Alachua County at a gravesite. Here's TV20's Camille Syed with this awe-inspiring story.
Every year when holidays like Veterans Day, Memorial Day, or 4th of July roll around, Joe Hancock does his research and bring his kids out to cemeteries in Alachua County to learn about veterans who are no longer with us. Well, this year he found a story of resilience that he felt needed to be shared.
He did a lot, didn't he, guys? We're going to go find him, and we're going to give him honors.
Hancock and his 5- and 7-year-olds set out to find African-American Sergeant Matthew Louis' headstone. Louis served in the Civil War and carried the flag that led troops to battle in the 1860s, and later became a lawyer, served as a Florida House representative for Alachua County, and much more. Joe Hancock says he does this to inspire others and shed light on history that brings us all together.
Lifting everybody up and looking for stories like Matthew to say, hey, look what he did, and looking for stories for like other folks, look what they did, you know.
And his next step is to talk to City of Alachua commissioners to set aside a day where kids can learn all about Matthew Louis' legacy. In Gainesville, Camille Syed, TV20 News.
All right, thank you for joining me this morning on this first day that we had a full 30-minute newscast in the morning. This Today's Show is next. I'll see you next time, and stay safe as Tropical Storm Elsa makes its way up Florida.
Thank you for watching WNIC Gainesville this morning. Remember, when we're not on air, you can visit our website for more news stories and on-demand broadcasts.